Welcome to week 9 of Ohio high school football. Out on the road, checking out the best prospects in Ohio. First prospect here is Will Smith. Bill Kurlick got a chance to see him play up at Arlington this weekend, and Will Smith did not disappoint. For 2 or 3 years, we've been covering Will Smith, and every time you cover him, he gives you a show. That means he puts on some highlights, and he's been playing defensive tackle, defensive end. You see him roaming around there, pass rushing. Caused 2 fumbles in this game. Really made some huge splash plays for his team. You see here up Arlington, leaving him unblocked, and he makes a play in space on the quarterback for another tackle for loss. That's 3 big plays in a row, and here's your 4th where he tracks down a tailback in the backfield. You see the change of direction and ability he has on the edge if he needs to play there. And on the last play, you'll see him fly upfield, hit the brakes, and make another play in the backfield. Great night for Will Smith. Next player we'll look at is Garrett Stover from Sunbury, Big Walnut. He's a strong safety linebacker type of player. We've watched him in the past, and we know he's a sure tackler, and we know he plays sideline to sideline. Great athlete. See him come flying into the picture there. You see him line up a middle linebacker here, and as the ball goes out to the bubble screen, you'll see one of the first guys out there is Stover to make a play on him, and you see the nice wrap-up tackle. Very versatile player that could line up an inside linebacker, outside linebacker, or strong safety. He did all 3 since we've been watching him. There you see him there come up and finish up a ball carrier. Here he is at middle linebacker, and he's going to have to take on a guard here or a tackle to blow him up and take on the ball carrier. Very physical inside, and then you see him in space with great feet coming up and attacking a player in the flats. And finally, you'll see him line up at outside linebacker and what he can do on the edge of the defense and contain. Great looking player. Take a look at a couple players from Villa Angela St. Joseph. Bo Jackson, number 2, running back, linebacker combo, strong safety combo. See him at tailback here with some power, put a pop on a would-be tackler, finishing downhill. You see what he looks like when he gets the edge here and he hits the open field. You see the speed he has. When I watched him, he was coming in and out of the game with an ankle injury. He's fighting his way through it. Still plenty of speed and power as he gets down there into the end zone. Here he is again at tailback, and you're going to see him get straight downhill here, north and south. Does a nice job of finishing his runs with power and driving his legs to get the most out of each run he can get. Take a look at him one more time at Menor Lake Catholic on a sweep here and see what he looks like in space and see how he finishes his runs. And although he does a great job at running back, I think he might be special on defense here. You're going to see him at linebacker make a play from all the way across the field for a tackle for a loss. That's unusual speed and acceleration to get across the field. Out at outside linebacker here, again, you're going to see the type of speed he has to get across the field and tackle someone for a loss. That's just an incredible type of play when you're on the opposite side of the field that can do that. And he has the athletic ability to cover. You see him here on the wheel route. He's glued to the guy, makes a great play on the ball. Very athletic player. Next guy we want to take a look at from VASJ is Dominic Kirk's defensive end, class of 2024. And he's a guy where I think we're going to be talking a lot about this summer. He's a better athlete than he was last year, moving a lot better, very powerful. You're going to see him here on a play where he chases and runs like a linebacker. When he gets out in the open field, he has good speed. There's number 6 at defensive end there, and then when he sees the receiver, he kicks it into gear, and you see the burst and acceleration to make the tackle. Coming off the edge in high school, he's a handful for offensive tackles, just too much power and speed, makes a lot of plays in the backfield throughout the night, does a very good job of pass rushing, and here you'll see him hold down his gap and take on the blockers and bounce off and make the play on the outside. Very physical with his hands, does a good job of shedding blocks. You see again, he gets to a player on the edge after he sheds a block. Inside here, you see the get off where he blows into the backfield and beats the play. And here's one more example of how good he is with his hands, going to both sides, playing both gaps, actually 2 gap in there on the edge. Now we're on to Tavien St. Clair, quarterback, class of 2025, Bellefontaine High School. All is 6'3", about 190 pounds. Looks very good in person, really sharp this night. I watched him. You see him drop a dime here right in front of me, and that was just the beginning of the night for him. Follows that up with another deep ball here where he drops it right on the receiver. And if you notice, he even looks the safety off to find some room for his receiver there. Everything he threw on the night I was pretty impressed with, from bubble screens to slants, and here's a shot he fires right into the camera. You can see the velocity firing into the hole there. Really throws a tight spiral. Here you're going to see him buy a little extra time with his feet and get out on the edge and have to throw while he's on the run here, and you see the accuracy and the flick right into the receiver's hands. I like seeing these bubble screens, the way they're fired in there with some velocity, giving the receiver a little more time to make a play and read his blocks and get the extra yardage. Here's a play where he throws a shot to the outside to see his arm strength to the sidelines. And another bubble screen here, and this one goes to the house. And St. Clair just did a good job all night of making all the throws, leading his team, being very poised. And if you want to check out his feet and his scrambling ability, he gave me a play here where you can get an idea of what type of an athlete he is. And he does have some moves in the open field, some speed. Definitely is a guy that will buy time to beat you with his arm though. The surprise of the night was Kenton Ridge, Demir Miller, sophomore, 6'4", 175 pounds, and And this is the play that put him on the map for me. He catches this slant and outruns the defense into the end zone. As I watched him throughout the game, he did an excellent job on defense. For his age, he's got some great length and some great speed, good route running ability. Here's a kickoff return in the game where you can see again what he can do in the open field and the type of speed he has for a young receiver. He's the type of kid that could grow bigger than this and end up playing outside linebacker or something down in the future. He's a player I will be checking back with next year. The high point skills and the ball skills are already there. The speed's already there. Really, the sky's the limit for Jamil Miller. Now over to Shaker Heights High School to check out Trey McNutt. He's a receiver, defensive back, class of 2025. Almost 6 foot, about 165 pounds. Caught a touchdown the first play I was there, and he had a couple touchdowns on the day. He's a shifty receiver. He's got some speed. You see him on the flag route here, just outrun everybody to the back of the end zone. Showed some nice ball skills. Here he's on a bubble screen, and you're going to see him just run by everybody once he gets the ball in the open field. His speed is very unusual. You can see the pull away speed there, and he leaves everybody in the dust. But he might not be a receiver in college. He does a great job on defense. You're going to see him at safety here, making a play on the ball and taking this to the house. Once he gets the ball in the open field, you see the receiver skills and why he's such a threat on offense. But as special as he is on offense, he does a great job on defense. You're going to see in the next couple clips here how physical he is and why I'm so excited to see him on defense. At a corner here, you see the way you come up and make a tackle in the flats. That's how you do it. You put your shoulder on the thigh pad. And here he is off the edge making a blitz and another physical tackle. Definitely a player you're going to hear more about this summer. We talked about Kamari Burns at Gahanna Lincoln last year. Here is Elijah King, about 6'5", 220, 230 pounds on the edge here. And look at the size and length he has. He's one of these players that as he gets to camps and combines this summer, he's definitely going to blow up. If you could buy stock, you should buy it in him right now. Long player, looks the part in person, does a great job with his hands. You see the explosion off the ball there to play in the backfield. Made a few plays tonight. I was watching him, but as you watch his highlight tape, he's definitely someone that you can get excited about, especially off the edge in Ohio. Should be one of the top couple players in the class. Now we're over to Olentangy Orange High School to check out the youngest player this week, class of 2026, Levi Davis, freshman quarterback. And what a freshman he is. He's very athletic, very explosive. You can see why they're playing him as a freshman right now. Has a good arm. It looks live at times. He threw a few nice balls, but he's definitely going to be someone that we keep watching. Only about 5'11" right now, so has some growing to do if he's going to stay at quarterback for the major college level. But what a physical runner, what a fighter. You can see that for a freshman, he's taken on the whole team and he keeps running. The more I watched him work on Friday night, the more I got impressed with what he could be in the future. Right here, you're going to see him absolutely put his head down and put a shot on somebody. Really has the ability to be a playmaker and turn something into nothing. Right here, you can see his jukes and his moves right here as he tries to get in the open field. We'll be keeping an eye on him. Next up, we have Turner Schmidt from Hilliard Davidson, 6'4", 210-pound defensive end, 2024 kid. Like the way he sheds the block here. Made a few plays during the game. You can see his length and what he's going to grow into in a couple years. Does a good job of using his hands to get off blocks and fight through tackles. You can see him give an effort here to get around the block and chase the quarterback. And we'll check out one more play of him. He's over here at defensive end on the right side. What I like about this is when you start on the right side and you end up all the way on the left side making a play, that means you give some great effort and hustle. You see him flying across the field there, beating blocks and jumping over people, making a play at the goal line. Next up, running back Nate Sievers from Big Walnut. Saw him a couple weeks ago and he looked good, and then he impressed again. 200-pound running back who runs with some power and definitely has some breakaway speed. He broke away twice on the evening. Good job of staying in bounds down the sideline there, and you can see him running away from the Dublin Scioto defense. And if that wasn't good enough, you're going to see him do it here again. Some nice blocking out of the guys up front, but he has a nice blend of power and speed. I've seen him run over players at games. And here he is again, running away from a very good team in Dublin Scioto. One more play out of Sievers here. You're going to see them get the ball pitched to him on an option and get 4 or 5 yards here. Back up at Menor Lake Catholic, we're going to check out outside linebacker Cross Nimmo. 6'5", about 200 and some pounds right now. Coming off the edge here, you'll see how long and explosive he is for such a young kid. Has that long body where you know he's going to grow into this frame and put on more power. Might be able to stay as an outside linebacker, might grow into a defensive end, but definitely a player that flashes when you see him live in person and has some nice highlights here as the early season highlight film. And last but not least is Donovan McCall, 2024 tight end from Hilliard Bradley. 6'4", 6'5", about 220 pounds, and very athletic. You see him out in space a couple times. He has some really good feet. You see him running across the field. Here he is on another reception running across the field. Nice hands. Raw player who has some development to do, but Did a good job in the blocking game when I saw him. Did a good job at defensive end. You're going to see him here blocking an outside linebacker and doing a good job of running his feet and trying to finish the play. Great week of football for week 9 in Ohio. Make sure you check back with us next week for a breakdown of the best prospects in Ohio high school football.